Hi guys, today we're going to do some more of the using vinegar to get rid of rust. And I have an old pair of tin shears, and I'm going to take them apart. Then I've still got a bunch of tools that my dad had given me before he passed. My younger brother stole so many of my tools that I'm even shocked I even have this much left. But come on. So we're gonna, I guess I'll just put the bolts and all in there. But I've got all kinds of, I don't know if you guys can even see these, but I've got all kinds of like vintage hand saws and vintage limb saws. And I've got an old vintage pipe cutter. The thing is so cool. This one is aluminum, I believe. I don't know, but it doesn't have a lot of rust on it, but I thought I'd clean it up because most of these I'm going to be displaying. I take one of the spare bedrooms and try to turn it into a little office area. And I'm going to display these on the wall. So using a sprayer, just pour some in there. Whew, I guess I better watch what I'm doing so I don't overflow it. This one, I can't take the handle off from it to clean it. So I got to figure out, well, I guess I could prop it up like that and spray the... I know I shouldn't be. They say you're not really supposed to clean vintage items, but these are not going to be sold or anything. They're mine till I pass, as far as I'm concerned. So it doesn't hurt, because since they're going to be in my house and they're mine, I don't see any harm of doing that. Alright, well, I gotta let this sit for a couple hours and we'll come back and get to work on them. These, I think I'm gonna have to take the handle off of that one. I think I'm gonna do these together. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and go beyond what I'm able to do here at one time. Alright, let them set and we'll come back later and see what's happening with them. Alright guys, it's been a couple hours. Boy, that water looks nasty. Ooh, I'm going to have to get that out of there because the aluminum was starting to look like it was starting to boil. They really wiped out that aluminum. I came back in here and it was in the water and it was kind of boiling like it was acid eating on it, so I had to get it out of there before it ruined the piece. So I guess I know not to put anything aluminum in there. This little saw here, I'm not trying to clean it too much. I just want to clean it up. because I want to keep it antique looking. So I think that's about all I'm going to do to that one. Oh wow, look at that, guys. This is the blade to that little saw. Ooh, look at the black coming off from it. Wow. I don't know what steel that was, but boy, it worked good. Hell, that thing almost looks brand new. One of the main reasons of even cleaning these up is because they're going to be put up on the wall. How it's going to do on the old trimming shears. Like I said, I don't want them completely clean. I just want the really bad rust off from them, because they're going to be hanging on the wall, and I don't want, the reason that I'm doing this is because I don't want rust stains on the walls. So if I clean them before I hang them up there, there's no way that the rust can stain the paint. Quickly as it was on that saw blade, but it is coming off. Of course, I guess that's tin or steel. So you got, so let's put it like this, guys. We know that it works on tin, we know that it works on steel, and we know that it works on iron. But it does not work on aluminum. So I had to, oh gross, I'm getting that crap everywhere, didn't even realize it. Okay guys, on this bigger saw, I just pulled the handle off, because with this one I'm not going to soak in vinegar. I'm going to sand it and just get most of the big rough sand or rust off from it, because I want it to stay looking vintage. And I took the handle off. Aren't those cool? And here's the handle for that small one. What I did was I stuck it under water and scrubbed it with a brush until I got all the old varnish off from it. And I'm going to sand these down real good. I'm going to see if I can get a lot of the varnish off this. I don't think I'll be able to. This side I might, because it's cracked pretty bad all over, see? And then I'm going to take that Old English oil, and I've got some that is a light walnut, and I'm just going to rub the handles down real good with Old English oil, and that'll give it back a little bit of color, plus give it some good oil so it'll last longer. On the saw blade, I didn't do the vinegar scrub on it because I want to leave this one old looking. So my basic thing is I want to get the really bad rust off from it and still let it look vintage. And that way when I hang them on the wall, they don't stain my wall. The rust doesn't get on my paint. So let's see what we can do here. Alright, let's wipe that off and see where we're at. Oh yeah. See, it takes the really bad rust off, the lifted up rust. I gotta wipe it down real good and oil it. And it still looks vintage. It doesn't take the vintage look away. Alright, I think that's gonna be good enough. Because, like I said, I don't want to take the vintage look away from it. Alright, let me clean up here a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, so I keep my Old English scratch cover in a plastic bag with the rag. And this is the only rag I ever use for this. That way it stays with it. Now, what I did with this handle is when I sanded it, I left some of the old varnish on it because I want it to look like it's been used. I don't want it to look brand new. I want it to keep its vintage look. And the oil basically just keeps the wood good. Good, strong, keeps it from drying out over the years. And I'll have to let this completely dry or I'll end up with oil marks on my walls when I hang them up. So I'll have to let this dry for about a week or so to give the wood time to soak all that in. And see, that's how I do it. I just sprinkle it on the rag, let the rag soak it up, and then I just go from there. That way I'm not getting big splotches of different colors all over the place. So what do you guys think? That seals the wood and keeps it looking old. I think that came out pretty good. Okay, there it is. And we got, what do you think? That'll look nice on the wall. Alright, now for this blade, this is probably going to take some oil because this thing is dry. I'm just going to put a lot of drops of oil on it and start rubbing it in. And the reason I put so much is because this is so dry that this is really gonna, doesn't seem like it's gonna matter how much oil you put on it. It's going to suck it right up. And there's one side. Make sure you hit the blade or the teeth, everything. You want this oil deep in that middle, and it will make this thing last a lot longer, look a lot better. But just remember to let it dry completely before hanging them on your wall. See, and it still has that vintage look to it. See, I got the vinegar took everything off of that one, and this is a vintage blade that that little handsaw goes with this, and now that blade looks brand new, which I wish I wouldn't have went that far, but that's okay. It just means it'll last that much longer. Okay, and now for the old wire cutter or metal cutters, we're gonna oil that real good. But on this one, I'm going to put the oil on the rag instead of on the part. Oil it real good. I could sharpen the blades, but I'm not going to because they're not going to be used anyway. And I want to keep it as close to the way I got them as possible. But I just want to make them to where I can get them put on the walls and make them look decent without ruining my walls with rust or oil or whatever. That's why you want to give it a week or so and let this oil soak in and dry up before you put them on your walls. That way you're not leaving marks on your paint on your walls. rust, if you have metal on the wall that has rust on it, the paint's going to pick it up. Your sheetrock will pick it up. Pretty much anything will pick that rust up. If you have oil on it, it's going to leave greasy oil marks on the wall. You ever want to paint again, you're going to have problems with that spot. Alright, now we got that. Now I want to put some oil on the bolt. Now you want to tighten it up, but you don't want it so tight that it won't open your cutters. So what I do is just, I tighten it by open, closing, and that tells me if I got it too tight or not. There. So, what do you guys think? See, I didn't sand off all the marks right down to the wood, right down to the metal. Alright guys, now we need to put this one back together. I can remember which side goes where. There it goes. I've got everything kind of strung out, so I have to look for it. Alright, what do you think? A lot nicer than when I started. I've had this all for years, it's just been packed away. My dad gave it to me. He, when he thought he was dying at the time, he went through all this stuff and divided it up. Well, he had a lot of tools anyway, and he divided all his tools with me because I didn't really have anything at that time. And then, you know, he kept very few for his vehicle and around home, and then I got the rest of them. Alright, let's get these lined up. Get them put back. Alright, so they're ready, and I think they're all, I can't pick up my camera and get a close-up because I've got oil all over my hands and I don't want it on my camera. So let's try something else here. So anyway, this is going to be the way it hangs on my wall. So what do you guys think? They're refreshed, still vintage looking, but they're clean. All the rust is gone. So, thank you guys for watching.